This is Monochrome Shift, a tiny broken mess of a platformer where you shift through time between a peaceful past and a post-apocalyptic future. It was designed by ChatGPT, and in the first devlog we created the basic foundations of the game. And in the second devlog we will create the player character, the antagonist of the game, and much more. So, let's just dive straight into it. In most games you play as some sort of a character, and Monochrome Shift is no exception. ChatGPT told us to create some cybernetic shapeshifter with all sorts of cool abilities, but we don't have time for all that, and so we threw the cybernetic part straight into trash. But the idea of a shapeshifter with some unstable body, that sounds cool. So we focused on that. We also wanted the player to be monochrome, in a stark contrast to the rest of the game. You know, because the game is called Monochrome Shift. To begin, we drew this lame-ass concept art, and realized that it looks like some shitty Hollow Knight fan art. Excellent. Then it became quite difficult, because we wanted to animate it. The problem is that we have basically zero experience animating. It's actually quite difficult and time-consuming to draw a single sprite, much less an entire animation. However, we do want to learn how to animate, and that's just the starting point. We want to be good at animating. To do that, we have to fail, and we have to fail again and again and again, and it will look bad and goofy. Slowly, over time, getting better, and who knows, one day it might just look good. Anyways, now we have this. We have created 3 sets of animations: idle, jump, and run. And with the animations done, it was time to implement them into the game. And you know what that means. Some goofy, half-implemented animations, of course. First, it began moonwalking and moon jumping. Then it looked like it was under the influence of at least 3 different drugs. Later, it began front flipping for some reason, I have no idea why. But we finally got it to work, and this is the final version. Nothing special, but it's good enough. It was about this time when something special happened, something everyone was waiting for since the beginning of time itself. As foretold, world peace would be achieved, all crises averted. It was the prophesized arrival of Godot 4. It's not that special? Oh. It's okay, most of the features were delayed to 4.1 anyway, that's when the world peace will be achieved. So we updated to the new version, and we felt no change. But we felt good. Well, not quite, there was one change. One bad change. We got these parsing errors, which occur when a file gets corrupted. The player and the level got corrupted, to be specific, and it sucks. Thankfully, we did manage to save the level, but the player was lost forever, and we had to recreate it from the ground up, so we will have to balance the movement all over again. Hooray! Parsing errors. More like dumb errors, am I right? To be fair and realistic, it was most likely our own fault, but we can still complain about it, shut up. You know what our game is missing? Some quirky NPCs, of course. We wanted to add more life to this post-apocalyptic world, and we decided to add some inhabitants who might or might not suffer a horrible death. As you will progress through the game, you will encounter these NPCs and learn some juicy lore from their monologue. Speaking of monologue, we made it so that it loads letter by letter, just like in Undertale, for example. And we will also add sound effects. So yes, it will go like Anyways, we got Snoil the Snail, Spirit who's about to cry for some reason, Stalker who I don't even want to know, and Ghost who definitely isn't somehow related to this boss over there. Implementing them into the game was quite entertaining. I don't even know what I'm looking at, but it's beautiful. You might be wondering, why is that boss just chilling over there? And I agree. What is this? Pacifism in our game? Oh no, that won't do. We have to fix that. First, we'll make it follow the player. Well, it looks like we are playing as Ghost now, because somebody forgot to add distance between it and the player. Look, you can still see some parts of the player sprite underneath.
Hello gamers, welcome to another Let's Play of Monochrome Shift. This time we are playing as Ghost, because the developer fucked up.
You need to respect my personal space, Ghost. But what's a boss without an attack? Almost? Oh yeah, here we go. And it's even better when it can actually kill the player. You might be wondering, where does this boss fit into the game? Well, allow me to enlighten you. The entire game will basically be one big tutorial. And once you reach a certain point, the boss will start chasing you, and you will have to use every skill you learned to win. But there's still one final tiny piece missing to make this perfect. A proper boss theme. We wanted some fast-paced music that uses the same leitmotif as the other soundtrack. That soundtrack has two versions, one with a piano and one with a guitar, for the past and future. And so we used both piano and guitar to symbolically unite them in one final music worthy of a boss. Well, that's it for Devlog 2, but we still have some future plans to share. After this project is done, hopefully within a month, we will focus on creating many tiny games to further improve our skill as quickly as possible, before we dive into more complex games. And no, Monochrome Shift is not what we mean by complex games. Eventually, we want to create games worthy of being released on Steam, but we want to make good games before we do that. Anyways, that's all. Have a nice day, thank you for watching, and bye!